If you are drunk, but also drunk in a video game like Grand Theft Auto 5, is your normal vision then restored? No. What does it mean to live in fast forward? Should you snack on candle wax? And is pain fake? What? Today I'm breaking down and answering some of your most thought-provoking medical questions from Discord. All right, let's dive right in. I sometimes forget how to breathe. Is that normal? Sometimes it could happen, but it's pretty rare because part of breathing, it's an involuntary action that our body does. It's part of an involuntary system within our brain that tells us to breathe. It's autonomic. But there are instances where people can say that they might hold their breath or not realize that they need to take a big breath. A good example would be, say, if you're really concentrating on something. Stress or anxiety can cause somebody to either rapidly breathe or hold their breath in. Is it necessarily bad? No. Just be aware that your body is under an autonomic control and an involuntary action relating to breathing. What would happen if a guy were to somehow take birth control pill? A birth control pill is what we typically call an oral contraceptive, which is basically given to a female to affect the ovulation to help prevent fertilization. The birth control has progestin and estrogen in it, so different types of female hormones. So if you ingest a greater amount of female hormones, it can affect the production of sperm, your production of testosterone. It could also basically start increasing the potential likelihood of gynecomastia, which is development of breast tissue. It wouldn't work the same way in a male. There would not be any contraceptive aspects. A person feels pain for the first 12 minutes. The rest is a figment of the imagination. Is that true? Not in my experience, not what they teach you in medical school. I see physical pain and emotional pain in the emergency department every day I work there, and people are unfortunately in pain for a very long time. They feel pain for a lot longer. There's chronic pain syndromes. Doc, as a teenager, is it normal to have multiple, 3 to 4, nocturnal emissions in one sleep without any external stimulation? By definition, a nocturnal emission or ejaculation is a non-stimulated ejaculation. So yes, it is quite normal to have these, especially as hormones are changing, body is adjusting. So in your teenage years is probably the time period when you're going to have the most amount of nocturnal emissions. They will potentially occur into your 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. Just depends, but they would decrease over time. Is it possible to make cheese or yogurt out of breast milk? So the answer is yes, but then the ethical question about that, is that appropriate or not? Okay, milk in general can literally be made into a cheese or a type of yogurt, but then you have human, right? So yes, the short answer is you could do this, but the longer answer is, should you be doing this? Not my forte. I'm an emergency medicine doctor, not a cheese or yogurt specialist. Does electrical shock make you poo your pants? Yes, it could. So what we would call that is incontinence, and we would call that bowel incontinence. So when somebody gets electrocuted or have an electrical shock, it sends energy into your nervous system, which then the nervous system fires to your muscles to either relax, contract. So if you have a large impulse, you can contract hard enough that you lose function of your bowel and bladder. Because what happens is when you go to the bathroom, you actually are trying to relax certain muscles, but it's an impulse of your control of the muscle to relax it, to then contract on the inside, to then be able to get the poop out. Where is earwax made? Good question, and it's made in your ear. It is in the external auditory canal, which is basically your ear canal. Earwax, medical term, is called cerumen. And so there's ceruminous glands in the ear as well as sebaceous glands in the ear, and they basically make like oils and basically waxy materials that protect the ear canal, catch debris, and also protect the very sensitive skin there, protect the eardrum. And what ends up happening is the dead skin cells of your skin mix in with the oils and they make this wax. Is it normal to get white hairs at 18? So normal is a unique word. It could be normal for somebody's genetics. You can get gray, white hairs. It's the absence of the pigments due to our melanocytes, right? Sometimes genetics plays a component in this. Sometimes imbalance of hormones, lack of vitamin D, stress. These things could induce the changing of the color of your hair. So something to be aware of. But typically as we get older, the hair start to turn gray, but it happens. But if you have premature changing of hair color, get checked out. Sometimes autoimmune issues can do it as well, something called vitiligo. What do you think of appetite suppressants? Are they safe and do they work well? So if somebody feels like they are overeating and they can't control their appetite, would an appetite suppressant be beneficial for them? Quite possibly. There are over-the-counter appetite suppressants that have been out on the market forever. Some literally have had to be taken off the market because they are not good. They can increase heart rate, increase blood pressure, cause nausea, headaches. So it's something to be aware of. But there are prescription medications that a doctor could prescribe. If you are drunk, but also drunk in a video game like Grand Theft Auto 5, is your normal vision then restored? No. Having a blurry screen probably would be worse if your vision, because you have ingested too much alcohol, is blurry as well. It doesn't mean like the two blurriness then matches up and makes a clear image. No. If you find that you're drinking heavily to where you're playing video games and your vision is off, please maybe talk to somebody about that, especially if you feel like it's interfering with your life. Make sure that you're protecting yourself. If you do occasionally drink and you want to help protect your liver, my supplement company, HAPPNS, came up with a product called Poor Decisions. Is eating candle wax a serious health hazard? How much is acceptable to eat per day before it can become an issue? You shouldn't be eating any candle wax. Candle wax in general, without any dyes in it, is probably not dangerous to the body in very, very small amounts. It's an indigestible substance that'll pass through your system. It won't be broken down and it'll come right out. If you eat large amounts, the issue ends up being malabsorption problems and bowel obstructions. If you eat too much of this, it can clog your system, so to speak. If you're ingesting candles that has perfumes, dyes, or different types of toxins in them, it becomes an issue because these can then be absorbed into your body and cause greater issues. Why sometimes when I wake up and then walk outside after a moment, you feel like everything goes faster when you don't move any faster, like someone pressed fast forward on the remote, feeling like a distortion of time. Our brains can play tricks on us. Sometimes if we might be in an altered state of consciousness, that our brain could have time go really, really slow, or time could speed up. If we're in a stressful situation or a high anxiety situation, things might be moving faster than you perceive them. So great thought-provoking questions, really good. Make sure that if you have any of these concerns as an individual and it's affecting your life and you're very concerned about it, make sure that you do talk to a healthcare provider. If you did enjoy this, definitely check out and binge watch this whole playlist right here of all your favorite Discord questions. And as always, please make sure you subscribe, turn on your bell notifications, and hit that like button for me. Thank you so much for watching, and stay healthy, my friends.